Have you ever felt like people only appreciate you when they need something? Like your kindness is a tool they use, not a quality they value? It's a tough realization, but here's the truth. You don't owe kindness to everyone. And the moment you understand this, your life will change forever. Because here's the thing. The world doesn't reward blind kindness. It rewards strength. And strength comes from knowing where to place your kindness, who to give it to, and when to hold it back. Stay with me till the end of this video, and you'll discover how protecting your kindness will bring you more peace, self-respect, and power than you ever imagined. See, we're taught that being kind is always the right thing to do, that we should be good to people no matter what. That if we keep giving, eventually the world will recognize our goodness and reward us. But reality doesn't work that way. Not everyone sees kindness as something to be grateful for. Some see it as something to exploit. Some see it as an opportunity to take, to drain, to control. The harsh truth: the more you give without limits, the more people will take without remorse. That's not negativity. That's psychology. Human nature is wired to seek comfort, to take the easy path. And when people realize you always be there, always saying yes, always giving without question, they will use that to their advantage. Not because they're evil, but because they can. And here's where it gets dangerous. When you keep giving to people who don't deserve it, something inside you starts to change. You begin to feel drained, unappreciated, frustrated. You start questioning yourself. Why do I feel so empty when I'm doing the right thing? Why does it feel like the more I give, the less I'm valued? That's because kindness without boundaries doesn't make you noble. It makes you a target. And if you don't recognize this cycle, it will break you. You'll start believing that you're not enough. That maybe if you just give a little more, they'll finally appreciate you. That maybe if you just stay patient, they'll change. But they won't. Because the problem isn't you. The problem is that you're giving your kindness to people who were never meant to have it in the first place. So here's what you need to do. You need to stop believing that kindness means saying yes to everything. Kindness is not about being available for everyone. True kindness starts with yourself. It starts with knowing your worth. It starts with understanding that your time, your energy, your emotions are valuable. And just like you wouldn't give away your money to someone who wastes it, you shouldn't give away your kindness to someone who abuses it. Think about this. The most respected people in the world are not the ones who are always available. They are the ones who set boundaries. They are the ones who choose where to invest their energy. And because of that, when they do offer kindness, it's powerful, it's meaningful, it's valued. So from this moment forward, stop feeling guilty for protecting yourself. Stop thinking that being kind means allowing people to walk all over you. It doesn't. It means being strong enough to choose who deserves your kindness. Because when you learn to do that, you'll not only gain respect, you'll gain peace. And peace, my friend, is worth more than anything else in this world. Now, this is just the beginning. There's something even more important you need to understand about the psychology of kindness. Something that will completely shift how you see yourself and the people around you. Keep watching, because what comes next will change the way you handle relationships forever. Kindness is powerful, but only when it's given to the right people. When you give it to the wrong ones, it becomes a weakness they exploit. That's why the world is filled with people who take advantage of good hearts. Because good hearts don't always know when to stop giving. You see, kindness should never be blind. It should never be something you hand out without thought, without awareness, without limits. Because when you do that, you start giving away something priceless. Your energy, your peace, your self-respect to those who don't deserve it. And the worst part? They won't even thank you for it. Think about it. How many times have you helped someone only for them to disappear when you needed them? How many times have you been there for others only to feel invisible when it was your turn to lean on someone? That's the reality of misplaced kindness. It's not that kindness is the problem. It's that not everyone deserves it. And here's where human psychology comes in. People value what is scarce. The more available you are, the more they take you for granted. The more you say yes, the less they respect your time. That's why the people who give too much often feel the most unappreciated. They don't realize they're training others to see their kindness as an expectation, not a gift. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean you should stop being kind. It means you need to be strategic about it. Because the moment you start protecting your kindness, something incredible happens. You start attracting people who respect you, who value your presence, who appreciate what you bring into their lives. And more importantly, you start feeling stronger, more confident, more in control. Look around at the most successful, most respected individuals. Do you think they say yes to everyone? Do you think they allow people to drain their time, energy, and emotions? No, they understand that their kindness is valuable, that it's a privilege, not a right. And because of that, when they do show kindness, it holds weight. It means something. It's respected. So ask yourself, are you giving your kindness to the right people? Or are you wasting it on those who see it as nothing more than an easy resource? Are you allowing people to treat your kindness as a weakness? Or are you making it clear that your kindness is a choice, not an obligation? Because the truth is, when you stop giving without limits, something powerful happens. The wrong people will leave. The manipulators, the users, the ones who only showed up when they needed something, they will fade away. And yes, it will feel lonely at first. It will feel like you're losing people. But what you're really losing is dead weight. What you're really losing are the people who never deserved you in the first place. And once they're gone, the right people will start to show up. The ones who see your kindness and respect it. The ones who don't just take, but also give. The ones who understand that kindness is not a weakness, it's a strength, but only when it's given to those who deserve it. So from this moment on, make a decision. Decide that your kindness is valuable. Decide that not everyone gets to have access to it. Decide that you will no longer waste your energy on those who only take and never give back. Because when you do that, you'll not only gain respect, you'll gain something even more powerful. Self-respect, peace, and the ability to walk away from anything that does not serve you. There's a hidden cost to being too kind, a price you pay without even realizing it. And by the time you do, it's already too late. Because the truth is, the more you give, the more some people will take. The more you sacrifice, the less they will appreciate. And the more you try to be there for everyone, the more invisible you will feel when you need someone. At first, it doesn't bother you. You tell yourself, it's okay, I'm doing the right thing. But over time, something shifts. You start to feel exhausted, drained, emotionally empty. You wonder why you feel so unappreciated, so taken for granted. Why does it feel like the more you give, the less people respect you? That's the pain of being too kind. And it's not because kindness is wrong, it's because kindness without limits is self-destruction. People often say, treat others the way you want to be treated. But here's the harsh reality. Not everyone follows that rule. Some people see your kindness as an opportunity. They recognize that you're always there, always saying yes, always willing to put yourself last. And instead of valuing that, they abuse it. Not because they're necessarily bad people, but because human nature is wired to take advantage of what's easily given. Think about it. When something is always available, it loses its value. When people know you'll always pick up the phone, always say yes, always forgive, they stop appreciating it. They stop respecting it. Your kindness becomes an expectation, not a gift. And when something is expected, it's no longer cherished. This is where most kind-hearted people get trapped. They keep giving, hoping that one day people will finally recognize their worth. They think if I just do a little more, if I just show them how much I care, maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll start treating me the way I treat them. But that day never comes. Because the more you overextend yourself, the more people expect from you. And the more they expect, the less they respect. And the worst part, when you finally say no, when you finally set boundaries, those same people will act like you've changed. They'll make you feel guilty. They'll say things like, you're not the same person anymore. Of course you're not. You're waking up. You're realizing that your kindness should be valued, not taken for granted. You're understanding that not everyone deserves the love and effort you give so freely. But here's what you must remember. Protecting your kindness doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. Choosing who gets access to your energy doesn't make you cold, it makes you strong. Because real strength isn't in giving endlessly. Real strength is in knowing when to walk away. You can't keep pouring into people who never fill you back up. You can't keep sacrificing your own well-being for those who don't appreciate it. That's not kindness. That's self-betrayal. And the moment you realize this, everything changes. You start reclaiming your power. You start valuing your time, your energy, your emotions. And once you do that, the right people, the ones who truly appreciate your kindness, will rise to meet you. So let go of the guilt. Stop feeling bad for protecting yourself. If someone only values you when you're giving, but disappears when you set boundaries, they never valued you at all. And that's not your loss. It's theirs. People don't take advantage of you because you're kind. They take advantage because they know you won't stop them. And that's the part most people don't understand. It's not your kindness that's the problem. It's the lack of boundaries that come with it. Psychology tells us something important about human nature. People will always push as far as they are allowed. It's the reason why some people never stop asking, never stop taking, never stop expecting more. Not because they need it, but because they know they can get it. And the moment you let it slide, the moment you allow it to happen, you give them permission to continue. This is why the most generous, kind-hearted people often end up feeling drained, because they believe that if they just keep giving, people will recognize their worth. But that's not how the world works. People don't value what's always available. They value what is earned, what is respected, what is not easily given away. And this is where things get dangerous. When you constantly allow people to take advantage of your kindness, you train them to see you as a resource, not a person. They stop seeing your kindness as a choice and start seeing it as your role. You become the one who always says yes, the one who always helps, the one who never asks for anything in return. And once people see you that way, it's almost impossible to change how they treat you. But here's what you need to understand. You teach people how to treat you. If you allow them to take advantage, they will. If you never say no, they will assume you don't have limits. And if you keep giving without expecting anything back, they will never feel the need to reciprocate. Now, some people might say, but kindness should be unconditional. No. Respect should be unconditional. Basic human decency should be unconditional. But your time, your energy, your kindness, those should be given where they are valued, not where they are expected. Think about it this way. If someone gave you a gift every single day, never asking for anything in return, never showing disappointment when you didn't reciprocate, eventually that gift would lose its meaning. You would start expecting it. You would stop appreciating it, not because you're ungrateful, but because that's how the human mind works. What is given too freely is taken for granted, and that's exactly what happens when you're too kind without boundaries. The more you give, the more people expect. The more available you are, the less they respect your time. And the moment you stop, the moment you finally say no, that's when you see people's true colors. Because the ones who are only there to take will be the first to leave. And that's a gift. Let them go. Because the people who walk away when you stop overextending yourself were never meant to stay. The ones who only loved your kindness but not you were never truly there for you in the first place. So ask yourself this: are you giving your kindness to the right people? Or are you handing it out to those who only take, never give, and never appreciate? Because the moment you start being selective with your kindness, everything changes. You stop feeling drained, you stop feeling used, and for the first time in your life, you start feeling valued. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally understood your worth. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They will say you've changed, that you're not as kind as you used to be, that you're being selfish. But understand this: setting boundaries is not selfish. It is necessary. And anyone who makes you feel guilty for protecting yourself is someone who benefited from your lack of boundaries. The world teaches you to be kind, but it doesn't teach you how to protect that kindness. It tells you to be generous, but never tells you when to stop. And if you don't figure that out on your own, people will take advantage of you. Not because they are always bad, but because they are human. They will take what is given without questioning how much it costs you. And if you never say no, they will assume you don't have limits. This is where so many people struggle. They confuse kindness with self-sacrifice. They believe that saying no makes them a bad person, that walking away from those who take advantage makes them heartless. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Psychology proves it. People respect those who respect themselves. The moment you start valuing your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being, others will begin to value it too. And the ones who don't, the ones who get angry when you set limits, they were never in your life for the right reasons. They were there for what you could give, not for who you are. But here's what's important. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you stop being kind. It means you start being kind to yourself first. It means you choose where your energy goes. It means you decide who is worth your time. Because not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your kindness, your patience, your love. Some people only want to take. And the more you give, the more they will expect. Have you ever noticed that the most successful, most respected people are the ones who don't allow themselves to be taken for granted? They are kind, but they are firm. They help, but they don't allow people to abuse their generosity. They say yes, but they also know when to say no. And because of that, people respect them. You must learn to do the same. Stop being afraid to say no. Stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first. If someone only values you when you're giving but disappears when you set boundaries, then they never truly valued you at all. And that's not your loss, it's theirs. Because the truth is, the right people will never leave just because you protect your energy. The right people will respect your boundaries. They will appreciate your kindness, not expect it. They will give as much as they take. And those are the only people who deserve a place in your life. So from this moment forward, let go of the guilt. Let go of the fear. Your kindness is a gift, not an obligation. And the moment you start treating it that way, you will no longer feel drained, unappreciated, or taken for granted. You will feel stronger, more at peace, more in control. And that is where true freedom begins. Most people struggle with one simple word, no. They hesitate, they feel guilty, they think saying no makes them a bad person. But the truth is, saying no is one of the most powerful things you can do. It is the foundation of self-respect, the first step toward reclaiming your energy. The moment you master it, your life will never be the same. Why is saying no so hard? Because from a young age, society teaches you to be agreeable, to be polite, to say yes even when you don't want to. And over time, that habit becomes a prison. You say yes to things that drain you, yes to people who don't appreciate you, yes to obligations that take away your time, your peace, your joy, and before you know it, your life is filled with things you never wanted in the first place. Psychology explains this well. People who struggle to say no often fear rejection. They fear being seen as selfish, rude, or unkind. But here's the truth. Saying no doesn't push away the right people. It pushes away the wrong ones. The ones who only stayed because you were easy to manipulate. The ones who expected you to always be available, always be giving, always be the one to sacrifice. The moment you start saying no, people will react. Some will respect it, some will be surprised, but some will get angry. They will accuse you of being different, of being difficult. But what they're really saying is, I don't like that I can't control you anymore. And that's the clearest sign that they were never truly there for you. But here's the beautiful part. When you say no to the wrong things, you create space for the right things. You start focusing on what truly matters. You stop wasting energy on people who don't appreciate it. And you finally feel what it's like to live on your own terms. Look at the most successful people in the world. Do you think they say yes to everything? No. They are selective. They know their time is valuable. They understand that every yes to something meaningless is a no to something important. And because of that, they live with purpose. They give where it matters. They are respected. You must learn to do the same. Because every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to yourself. Every time you let guilt control you, you lose a piece of your freedom. But the moment you take back control, the moment you realize that your time, your energy, your kindness are not infinite, that's when everything changes. So start practicing. Start saying no when something doesn't feel right. No when someone disrespects your boundaries. No when you feel pressured into something that doesn't serve you. It will feel uncomfortable at first, but over time it will become your greatest strength. And here's what you'll notice. The right people will stay. The wrong people will leave. And you will finally have the peace, the respect, and the control over your life that you've always deserved. Your energy is your most valuable asset. It shapes your mindset, your emotions, and the way you experience life. But too often people give it away carelessly to those who drain them, to those who don't appreciate them, to those who only take without giving anything in return. And then they wonder why they feel exhausted, unmotivated, and empty inside. You must understand one thing. Energy is contagious. The people you surround yourself with will either fuel you or drain you. They will either lift you up or pull you down. And if you don't protect your energy, you will find yourself constantly fighting battles that aren't even yours to fight. Some people thrive on negativity. They bring drama, conflict, and problems into every situation. They complain, they criticize, they spread doubt and fear. And if you're not careful, their energy becomes your energy. Their negativity becomes your reality. You might think you're just helping them, just being there for them. But in the process, you're absorbing their toxic mindset, and before you know it, you feel just as drained and hopeless as they do. This is why protecting your energy isn't just important, it's necessary for survival. Because the truth is, you cannot fix people who don't want to change. You cannot save people who refuse to save themselves. No matter how much you give, no matter how much you care, some people will never change. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself. But here's what you need to remember. You are not responsible for anyone else's happiness. You are not responsible for carrying other people's burdens. You have your own life, your own dreams, your own peace to protect. And if someone constantly brings negativity into your world, you have every right to walk away, not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself too. Think about the most peaceful, successful people. Do they allow toxic people to control their emotions? No. They are selective with their time. They surround themselves with people who inspire, support, and uplift them. They understand that their energy is sacred, and they refuse to waste it on those who don't deserve it. You must learn to do the same. Stop feeling guilty for cutting off toxic people. Stop apologizing for protecting your peace. If someone constantly drains you, disrespects you, or brings negativity into your life, it's not your job to fix them. It's your job to distance yourself. Because the moment you do, you'll feel lighter. You'll feel more in control. You'll finally have the mental and emotional space to focus on what truly matters. And the best part? When you remove the wrong people, the right ones will find you. The ones who appreciate your kindness, the ones who respect your energy, the ones who bring positivity, encouragement, and strength into your life. So ask yourself, who is draining you? Who is taking more than they give? Who is filling your mind with doubt, negativity, and stress? And more importantly, why are you still allowing them access to your life? Because the moment you choose to protect your energy, everything changes. You become stronger, clearer, more focused. You start living life on your terms. And for the first time, you finally feel free. Look around you. The people in your life, the ones you talk to, the ones you spend time with, are shaping your mindset, your energy, and your future. Whether you realize it or not, your circle is either pushing you forward or holding you back. You cannot surround yourself with negative, unmotivated people and expect to live a positive, successful life. It doesn't work that way. The people you allow into your space influence the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. If you're constantly around people who complain, doubt, and make excuses, eventually you'll start doing the same. That kind of energy is contagious. Psychology proves this over and over again. Your environment dictates your behavior. If you want to be disciplined, surround yourself with disciplined people. If you want to be successful, be around those who push themselves to grow. If you want to be happy, connect with those who radiate positivity. Because whether you like it or not, you will become like the people you spend the most time with. But here's the problem. Too many people stay in circles that drain them, not because they want to, but because they feel obligated. They hold on to friendships that no longer serve them. They keep people around out of guilt, out of history, out of fear of being alone. But ask yourself this: what is the cost? What is the price you're paying for keeping these people in your life? Because every second you spend around the wrong people is a second you could be investing in the right ones. Not everyone deserves a place in your life. Some people will only support you as long as you stay on their level. The moment you start growing, the moment you start changing, they will try to hold you back. Not because they hate you, but because your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. They don't want to see you rise because it forces them to look at their own failures. That's why you must be willing to let go. Let go of those who discourage you. Let go of those who constantly bring drama, negativity, and distractions into your life. Let go of those who don't clap when you win. Because the truth is, the people who genuinely care about you will want to see you succeed. They will encourage you, they will challenge you, they will push you to be better. And those are the only people you should keep close. Think about it. Successful people don't waste time with those who drain them. They don't entertain negative conversations. They don't keep toxic people in their lives out of guilt. They choose their circle wisely. They build relationships that inspire them, that help them grow, that bring out the best in them. And that's exactly what you need to do. So take a hard look at your circle. Who is truly supporting you? Who is pushing you to be better? And who is keeping you stuck? Because your future depends on the people you surround yourself with. And the moment you choose wisely, everything in your life will start to change. Letting go is one of the hardest things a person can do. Not because we don't know it's necessary, but because we get attached. We hold on to people, situations, and habits, even when they drain us, even when we know deep down that they are no longer meant for us. Why? Because familiarity feels safe. Because change feels uncomfortable. Because we tell ourselves that maybe, just maybe, things will get better. That maybe the people who hurt us will change. That maybe the situations that break us will fix themselves. But the truth is, holding on to the wrong things only delays the life you truly deserve. You cannot move forward while still carrying the weight of your past. You cannot grow while surrounding yourself with people who don't want to see you rise. You cannot step into the next chapter of your life if you're too busy rereading the last one. Psychology proves that human beings crave comfort, even when that comfort is destructive. The mind prefers a familiar struggle over an unfamiliar possibility. That's why so many people stay stuck in the same toxic relationships, the same negative environments, the same cycles that leave them exhausted and unfulfilled. But at some point, you must ask yourself, what is this costing me? What is the price I'm paying for holding on? Because every time you keep a toxic person in your life, you are telling yourself that you are okay with being drained. Every time you tolerate disrespect, you are showing people that they can treat you however they want. Every time you refuse to walk away, you are choosing fear over freedom. And here's the truth. If something is not adding value to your life, it is taking value from your life. There is no in between. People either push you forward or hold you back. Situations either strengthen you or weaken you. Environments either inspire you or drain you. And if you are surrounded by anything that is pulling you down, you owe it to yourself to walk away. Look at the most successful, most fulfilled people in the world. They didn't get there by holding on to what was comfortable. They got there by letting go of what no longer served them. They left toxic relationships. They walked away from negative environments. They cut off distractions, excuses, and anything that was keeping them small. And you must do the same, because the moment you walk away from what is draining you, you will feel it. Relief, flower clarity, freedom. You will start to realize how much weight you were carrying, how much energy you were wasting. And for the first time, you will be able to focus on what truly matters. So stop waiting. Stop hoping that people will change. Stop expecting that toxic situations will somehow become healthy. If something is pulling you down, let it go. If someone is not treating you right, walk away. Your peace, your happiness, and your future are far too valuable to waste on anything or anyone that is not meant for you. And the best part, when you finally release what no longer serves you, you make space for what does. You open the door for better relationships, better opportunities, and a better version of yourself. A version that is no longer weighed down by the past, but fully prepared for the future. Why do so many people live their lives for others? Why do they silence their dreams, shrink their potential, and hold themselves back just to gain approval from people who don't even understand their vision? The truth is, most people spend their entire lives trying to be liked. They worry about what others think. They seek validation. They change who they are just to fit in. And in the process, they lose themselves. They forget what they truly want. They forget who they truly are. But here's the harsh reality. No matter what you do, not everyone will approve of you. Not everyone will support your journey. Not everyone will understand your decisions. And that's okay. Because you are not here to be liked. You are here to grow, to evolve, to become the best version of yourself. And that will never happen if you keep living for the expectations of others. Psychology explains this well. From a young age, people are conditioned to seek approval. They are taught that being accepted means being safe, that standing out is dangerous, that making different choices will lead to rejection. But the most successful people in the world, they refuse to live by those rules. They don't waste time worrying about opinions. They don't ask for permission to chase their dreams. They don't need validation to know their worth, and neither do you. Because the moment you stop seeking approval, you gain something far more valuable: freedom. Freedom to do what feels right for you. Freedom to make choices without fear. Freedom to live life on your own terms. Think about it. Some people will judge you no matter what. If you play it safe, they'll say you're too afraid to take risks. If you take risks, they'll say you're reckless. If you follow the crowd, they'll call you unoriginal. If you go your own way, they'll call you crazy. No matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. So why waste your life trying to please them? Look at the people who truly make an impact. They are not concerned with fitting in. They don't follow trends, they set them. They don't wait for approval, they take action. And because of that, they inspire others. They lead, they create, they build lives they are proud of. You must do the same. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop looking for validation from those who have never even dared to chase their own dreams. Stop allowing the opinions of others to dictate the direction of your life, because at the end of the day, their opinions don't pay your bills. Their approval won't bring you happiness. Their validation won't give you purpose. The only person who needs to believe in you is you. So take back your power. Do what sets your soul on fire. Make the choices that align with your vision. And if people don't understand, if they criticize, if they walk away, let them. Because the right people, the ones who truly matter, will respect you for being unapologetically yourself. And when that happens, you will realize you never needed their approval in the first place. If you don't respect yourself, don't expect others to. People will treat you the way you allow them to. They will take advantage of you if you let them. They will cross your boundaries if you don't enforce them. They will devalue you if you don't show them what you're worth. Too many people sacrifice their self-respect just to keep others happy. They tolerate disrespect. They say yes when they want to say no. They allow people to walk all over them because they are afraid of conflict, afraid of being alone, afraid of losing connections. But here's what you need to understand. Self-respect is the foundation of everything. It's the foundation of confidence, success, and fulfillment. If you don't have it, you will always feel like you are not enough. Psychologists call this self-worth conditioning. If you constantly allow people to mistreat you, your subconscious mind starts believing that you deserve it. You start accepting less than your worth. And before you know it, you become stuck in a cycle of toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, and situations where your value is ignored. But the moment you decide to respect yourself, everything changes. You start setting boundaries. You stop chasing people who don't value you. You stop explaining yourself to those who don't deserve an explanation. You no longer feel the need to please everyone because you understand that your peace is more important than their approval. And here's the truth. When you raise your standards, people will either rise to meet them or walk away. And both outcomes are a blessing. Because the ones who walk away were never meant to stay. The ones who remain are the ones who truly respect you. Look at the strongest, most confident individuals. They don't beg for attention. They don't tolerate disrespect. They don't allow toxic people to drain them. They carry themselves with dignity, and because of that, they attract the right opportunities, the right relationships, the right energy. You must do the same. Stop explaining yourself to people who refuse to understand you. Stop allowing others to make you feel small. Stop making excuses for those who continue to hurt you. If someone cannot treat you with respect, they don't belong in your life. It's that simple. And when you finally embrace self-respect, something powerful happens. You start to believe in yourself. You start making choices that align with your worth. You stop looking for validation. You stop fearing loneliness because you realize that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. So stand tall, speak with confidence, enforce your boundaries, and never, ever lower your standards to make someone else comfortable. Because the moment you fully respect yourself, the world will have no choice but to do the same. Your energy is your most valuable resource. It determines how you think, how you feel, and how you show up in the world. If you don't protect it, people will drain it. They will take from you without giving anything in return. They will fill your mind with negativity, your heart with doubt, and your soul with exhaustion. Think about how many times you felt mentally drained, not because you worked too hard, but because you entertained the wrong conversations, engaged with the wrong people, and allowed negativity to take up space in your mind. Energy vampires exist. People who thrive on drama, who live in chaos, who drain others just to make themselves feel better. If you allow them in your space, they will rob you of your focus, your peace, and your motivation. Psychology calls this emotional contagion. Just like a virus, emotions are contagious. If you surround yourself with stress, doubt, and negativity, you will absorb it. But if you protect your energy, if you guard your mind, if you choose your circle wisely, You will keep your power. You will stay focused. You will stay strong. That's why you must be ruthless about who and what gets your attention. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every invitation deserves your presence. You must learn to say no, not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself enough to set boundaries. Look at the most successful, disciplined people. They're intentional with their energy. They don't waste time on gossip. They don't engage in meaningless debates. They don't allow distractions to pull them away from their purpose. They understand that their energy is sacred, and they refuse to waste it on things that don't serve them. You must do the same. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop engaging with negativity that only drains you. Stop allowing toxic people to live rent-free in your mind. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. And here's the truth. When you start guarding your energy, people will notice. Some will respect you for it. Others will resent you because they can no longer use you. And that's fine. Because the moment you take back control of your energy, you will see how much lighter, clearer, and stronger you feel. You will have more time for what truly matters. You will have more energy for your goals, your growth, your success. So make a decision. Protect your energy, guard your mind, choose your peace over their approval. Because the more you protect your energy, the more powerful you become. Some people will never appreciate your presence until you remove it. They will take you for granted, drain your energy, and disrespect your kindness until one day you decide that enough is enough. And when that day comes, when you finally walk away, they will realize something powerful. You were never the problem. You were the blessing they failed to value. But walking away isn't easy. It requires strength. It requires courage. It requires knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to beg for love, respect, or attention. Most people struggle with this because they fear loss. They fear being alone. They fear the uncertainty that comes with letting go. But what they don't realize is that walking away isn't just about leaving something behind. It's about making room for something better. Psychologists explain that the human brain is wired for attachment. Even when something is toxic, the mind resists change. That's why people stay in relationships that drain them. That's why they remain in environments that break them. That's why they tolerate treatment they don't deserve, because the fear of the unknown keeps them stuck. But here's the truth. Every time you tolerate disrespect, you teach people that it's acceptable. Every time you ignore your own needs to please others, you send a message that your feelings don't matter. Every time you hold on to something that hurts you, you delay the peace, growth, and success that are waiting for you. Look at the strongest people. They are not the ones who endure endless pain just to prove their loyalty. They are the ones who have the strength to walk away from anything that no longer serves them. They don't beg for love. They don't chase friendships. They don't fight for a seat at tables where they are not respected. They understand that walking away is not weakness, it's power. And the moment you embrace this power, you will feel it. You will stop over-explaining yourself to people who don't listen. You will stop chasing after those who continue to walk away. You will stop holding on to relationships that are held together by excuses instead of effort. Because you will finally realize that what you allow is what will continue. So, if something is draining you, let it go. If someone cannot value you, walk away. If an environment no longer aligns with your growth, leave it behind. Because walking away doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're choosing yourself. It means you're setting a standard for how you deserve to be treated. It means you are making space for something that truly matches your worth. And when you finally do it, when you finally step away from what no longer serves you, you will look back and wonder why you ever stayed so long. You will realize that the weight you carried wasn't yours to bear. And for the first time in a long time, you will feel free. Free to grow, free to thrive, free to build the life you were meant to live. There comes a point in life when you must decide, do you want their approval or do you want your peace? Because you can't have both. If you spend your life trying to please everyone, you will never be at peace. You will always be adjusting, always overthinking, always sacrificing your happiness just to keep others comfortable. Too many people live like this. They silence their voices to avoid conflict. They shrink themselves to fit in. They stay in toxic situations because they don't want to be judged. And in the process, they lose themselves. They forget what they want. They forget what they need. They become a version of themselves that exists only to satisfy the expectations of others. Psychologists call this people-pleasing syndrome. It's a conditioned behavior where people base their self-worth on how much they can please others. They fear rejection. They fear criticism. They fear disappointing those around them, so they say yes when they mean no. They tolerate disrespect just to avoid confrontation. They suppress their feelings because they believe their needs are less important than the needs of others. But the truth is, the more you chase approval, the further you get from yourself. The more you try to keep everyone happy, the more miserable you become. Because no matter how much you give, it will never be enough. No matter how much you try, someone will always have something to say. Someone will always judge. Someone will always disapprove. Look at the most at-peace individuals. They are not the ones trying to be liked by everyone. They are the ones who have learned to say no without guilt. They are the ones who have stopped explaining themselves to people who will never understand them. They are the ones who prioritize their well-being over the opinions of others. You must do the same. Stop living for their validation. Stop bending over backward to meet expectations that are not your own. Stop believing that your worth is determined by how many people approve of you. Because the reality is, no matter what you do, some people will misunderstand you. Some will criticize you. Some will reject you. And that's fine, because their approval is not your responsibility. Your peace is. And when you finally choose peace over approval, everything changes. You start making decisions based on what's best for you, not what's expected of you. You stop fearing rejection because you realize that being true to yourself is more important than being accepted by others. You start valuing your own opinion more than the opinions of those who do not walk in your shoes. So let go of the need to please. Let go of the fear of judgment. Let go of the belief that you must be everything to everyone, because the moment you choose your peace, you reclaim your power. And in that power, you will find the freedom to live life on your own terms, without guilt, without fear, and without needing anyone's permission. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to stop apologizing for who you are. Stop apologizing for your standards. Stop apologizing for your boundaries. Stop apologizing for wanting more, expecting more, and refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. Because the moment you stop seeking permission to be yourself, you step into a strength that most people never experience. Society conditions people to seek approval. From a young age, you're taught to be agreeable, to conform, to avoid standing out too much. You're told to be humble. But often, that humility is just another word for making yourself small. You're expected to dim your light so others don't feel uncomfortable. And when you refuse, when you finally embrace your full potential, some people won't like it. They will call you arrogant. They will say you've changed. They will try to make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. But here's what they don't tell you. Those who criticize your confidence are the same people who benefit from your insecurity. Those who judge your growth are the same ones who feel threatened by it. People who are comfortable seeing you struggle will never celebrate seeing you succeed. And if you allow their opinions to control you, you will spend your whole life living for them instead of for yourself. Psychologists explain this as social conditioning. The human brain craves acceptance. It wants to be liked. It wants to fit in. That's why so many people hold themselves back, not because they lack ability, but because they fear judgment. They fear what people will say if they start speaking up. They fear how friends and family will react if they start setting boundaries. They fear being labeled as selfish for finally prioritizing their own happiness. But here's the truth. Being unapologetic is not selfish, it's necessary. It's necessary to demand the respect you deserve. It's necessary to protect your time, your energy, and your mental health. It's necessary to make choices that align with your goals, not just with other people's expectations. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with your decisions. You are the one who has to face the consequences of the life you create. Look at the people who have made an impact in this world. They were not people pleasers. They were not afraid to stand alone. They were not concerned with whether or not everyone approved of them. They were leaders. They were risk takers. They were individuals who refused to apologize for being who they were. And because of that, they built lives that others only dream of. You must do the same. Walk in your truth without fear. Set your standards without explanation. Protect your boundaries without guilt. And never shrink yourself just to make someone else feel comfortable. Because the moment you stop apologizing for who you are, you will realize something powerful. Your confidence is your greatest weapon, and no one can take it from you unless you let them. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is the ability to release what no longer serves you without fear, without regret, and without the need for closure. Most people struggle with this because they believe holding on makes them strong. They think if they try harder, give more, or wait longer, things will change. But the truth is, some things and some people are not meant to stay in your life. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will find peace. The human brain resists change. Psychologists call it loss aversion. The mind is wired to avoid loss at all costs, even when holding on is causing more pain than letting go. That's why people stay in toxic relationships. That's why they cling to friendships that no longer serve them. That's why they refuse to walk away from situations that are draining them emotionally, mentally, and even physically, because the fear of losing something familiar is greater than the discomfort of staying stuck. But here's what most people don't realize. Letting go is not about losing. It's about making space. Making space for better relationships. Making space for inner peace. Making space for growth, success, and self-respect. Because every time you hold on to something that is hurting you, you block the blessings that are waiting for you. Think about it. How many times have you tried to force something to work? How many times have you sacrificed your happiness just to keep something alive that was already dead? How many times have you ignored your instincts, hoping things would change, only to be disappointed again? This is what happens when you refuse to let go. You stay stuck in cycles that were never meant for you. The strongest people are not the ones who endure pain in silence. They are the ones who have the courage to walk away. They are the ones who know that their time, their energy, and their peace are too valuable to waste on people and situations that do not serve them. They are the ones who refuse to beg for love, chase friendships, or fight for a place where they are not valued. And the moment you embrace this truth, your life will change. You will stop making excuses for people who continue to hurt you. You will stop waiting for apologies that will never come. You will stop looking back, hoping that the past can be rewritten, because you will finally understand that letting go is not about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about choosing yourself, your happiness, and your future over everything that is holding you back. So stop holding on to what is hurting you. Stop carrying the weight of things that are breaking you. Stop giving your energy to people who don't deserve it, because the moment you let go, you set yourself free, free to heal, free to grow, free to become the person you were always meant to be. Walking away is not giving up. It's not a sign of defeat. It's not weakness. It's power. It's choosing to protect your energy rather than waste it on people who drain you. It's refusing to fight for a place in someone's life when they've already shown you that you're not a priority. It's realizing that your peace is worth more than proving a point. Too many people stay where they are not valued because they fear what others will think. They worry about being judged, being labeled as cold, selfish, or ungrateful, but what they don't realize is this: staying in the wrong place only destroys you. It wears you down, breaks your spirit, and makes you question your worth. And no amount of effort, no amount of love, no amount of patience will ever change someone who refuses to see your value. Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy. The idea that because you've already invested time, energy, and emotions into something, you must keep holding on, even if it's destroying you. But that is a lie. You are not obligated to keep fighting for people who don't fight for you. You don't have to keep proving your worth to people who refuse to see it. You don't have to carry the weight of relationships, friendships, or situations that only bring you stress and sadness. The strongest people are the ones who know when to walk away. They understand that not everyone deserves access to them. Not everyone deserves their kindness, their time, or their presence. And they refuse to let guilt keep them in places that do not nourish their soul. So if you find yourself constantly explaining, constantly compromising, constantly feeling like you are giving more than you receive, it's time to go. If you feel drained instead of inspired, exhausted instead of encouraged, empty instead of fulfilled, it's time to go. Because your life should not be spent convincing people to respect you. It should not be spent waiting for appreciation that never comes. It should not be spent sacrificing yourself just to be accepted by those who do not deserve you. And when you walk away, do it with your head high. Don't explain yourself. Don't argue. Don't beg for understanding, because the right people will never make you feel like you have to fight for a place in their life. The right people will value you without conditions. They will respect you without question. They will cherish you without you having to prove anything. So choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose to move forward without regret, without doubt, and without fear. Because the moment you walk away from what is breaking you, you walk towards everything that is meant for you. And in that moment, you will realize that leaving was not the end, it was the beginning of something greater. Your peace is priceless. It is not something to negotiate, not something to sacrifice, and definitely not something to hand over to people who bring chaos into your life. Too many people live in a constant state of stress, frustration, and exhaustion because they allow the wrong people to disturb their peace. They tolerate negativity, they entertain toxic conversations, they hold on to relationships that drain them. All because they feel guilty for putting themselves first. But here's the truth. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the foundation of your mental and emotional well-being. Without peace, your mind is cluttered, your emotions are unstable, and your decisions are driven by stress instead of clarity. That is why you must guard it with everything you have, because once your peace is gone, everything else starts to crumble. Psychologists have studied the impact of toxic environments on the human brain. Being around constant negativity increases stress hormones, weakens the immune system, and affects decision-making. It creates a cycle where the mind is always in survival mode, always anxious, always on edge, always reacting instead of thinking clearly. That is why some people feel stuck even when they know they deserve better. It's not because they are weak, it's because they are constantly surrounded by stress, and that stress clouds their judgment. But here's the good news. You have the power to control what you allow into your life. You have the right to say no. You have the right to distance yourself from people who bring nothing but drama and chaos. You have the right to walk away from situations that do not serve you. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing your peace. This is where boundaries become your greatest weapon. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about controlling what you allow into your life. They are the filter that keeps negativity out and protects your inner world. If someone constantly brings stress into your life, limit your time with them. If certain conversations drain you, refuse to engage in them. If a situation makes you feel small, walk away. Because nothing is worth sacrificing your peace. And when people try to make you feel guilty for protecting your space, remember this. Those who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always be the ones most upset when you start enforcing them. But that is their problem, not yours. Your responsibility is not to make others comfortable at the expense of your own well-being. Your responsibility is to create a life where peace is the foundation of everything you do. So protect it, guard it, defend it with everything you have. Because when your mind is at peace, your decisions are clearer, your energy is stronger, and your future is limitless. The moment you stop letting the wrong people disturb your peace is the moment you reclaim control over your life. And that is the moment you start truly living. Not everyone will understand your growth. Not everyone will respect your boundaries. And not everyone will be happy when you start prioritizing your peace. That is why you must learn to elevate yourself above negativity, no matter where it comes from. You must develop the discipline to rise above the noise, to ignore the distractions, and to keep moving forward, regardless of who tries to pull you back. Negativity is everywhere. It comes in the form of doubters, critics, and people who want to see you fail simply because they never had the courage to succeed. It comes in the form of toxic relationships, energy-draining conversations, and environments that suffocate your potential. If you allow it, negativity will consume you. It will lower your energy, weaken your confidence, and make you question your worth. That is why you must train your mind to resist it. Psychologists have studied the effects of negativity bias, how the brain naturally gives more attention to negative experiences than positive ones. This is why one harsh comment can outweigh 10 compliments. This is why one failure can feel heavier than 100 small victories. The mind is wired to focus on the negative, but that does not mean you have to accept it. You have the power to rewire your thinking. You have the ability to shift your focus. And the moment you do, everything changes. When someone doubts you, let their words be the fuel that drives you. When someone tries to bring you down, let their negativity remind you of your strength. When life throws challenges in your path, see them as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Because no one who has ever achieved greatness did so without facing resistance. No one who has ever elevated their life did so without leaving behind the weight of negative people and environments. But here's the key. You cannot fight negativity with negativity. You cannot waste your energy arguing, proving yourself, or trying to change people who refuse to change. The best way to silence negativity is with results. The best way to rise above it is by continuing to elevate yourself, mentally, emotionally, and physically. While others stay stuck complaining, you will be working. While they spread doubt, you will be building. While they try to pull you down, you will be rising higher than they ever imagined. And in this process, you will realize something powerful. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves to know your plans, your struggles, or your victories, because not everyone wants to see you win. So be selective with your energy. Be intentional with your time. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The moment you stop reacting to negativity is the moment you take control of your life. The moment you stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you is the moment you set yourself free. And when you free yourself from the weight of negativity, you step into a level of clarity, confidence, and success that most people will never experience. So rise above it. Stay focused. Keep moving forward. Because your future is too important to be weighed down by the opinions of those who will never understand your journey. The moment you decide to walk away from negativity, from unworthy people, and from anything that drains your energy, you step into your power. This is where transformation begins. This is where you take back control of your life, your peace, and your destiny. But here's the truth. Not everyone will support this version of you. Some people will say you've changed. Some will call you selfish. Some will try to pull you back into the old habits, the old conversations, the old way of thinking, not because they want what's best for you, but because your growth intimidates them. Your strength exposes their weakness. Your discipline reminds them of their own lack of commitment. But listen closely. This is not your problem. It is not your job to shrink so others can feel comfortable. It is not your duty to dim your light so others don't feel insecure. Your only responsibility is to step fully into the person you were meant to be, to own your greatness, to embrace your power, to stop explaining, stop apologizing, and stop waiting for permission to live the life you deserve. Psychologists have proven that the brain thrives in environments of purpose and direction. When you remove distractions, when you cut off negativity, when you stop wasting energy on people who don't deserve it, your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, your decisions become clearer. And suddenly the life you once dreamed of starts becoming your reality. But you must commit to this new path. You must protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. You must surround yourself with people who elevate you, not those who drain you. You must replace doubt with discipline, fear with faith, and excuses with action. Most importantly, you must believe that you are worthy, worthy of success, worthy of happiness, worthy of respect. Because once you believe it, the world will have no choice but to believe it too. So from this moment on, walk differently, think differently, move with purpose, with confidence, with unwavering determination. And when people question you, when they doubt you, when they try to pull you back, just smile. Because deep down, you'll know the truth. You are no longer the person they once knew. You are no longer playing small. You are no longer wasting your energy on what doesn't serve you. You are walking in your power, and nothing can stop you now. If this message spoke to you, if you're ready to take control of your life and step into your greatness, then show your support. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more powerful messages that will keep you motivated and focused. Your journey is just beginning, and together we will continue to rise.